Hey guys, I'm sitting here and I'm talking to Christy, and gosh, the conversation is so insightful. We were talking about pandas. And so basically, Christy was telling me a little bit about her journey, which we are not going to share tonight, but she was telling me about her journey in the and what happened as a result of her continued pursuit. So, Christy, tell me a little bit about what the diagnosis meant to you.
It was validation, I guess. I knew I didn't know of the word or what any of it meant. I just knew there was something. She was diagnosed with POTS, but not everything fell into that bucket. There were things that were unexplained, behavior issues mostly. And when we found out about PANDAS, learned about it, what it all meant, it was validation that of all the times that I stood up for her to therapists, teachers, family members, that there was something going on. And there is a term for it, and there is treatment for it.
And you weren't alone.
And I wasn't alone.
So now you're telling people the stories and you're getting the nods versus like, she crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And I still have people send me a text, an email, a call. You have to talk to my neighbor. You have to talk to my coworker's daughter. You have to, it's constant because everybody most likely knows somebody that falls into one of these categories of chronic illness or PANDAS or POTS or Ehlers-Danlos, all of the things that often go hand in hand. And it's not necessarily rare, but rarely diagnosed.
You know what? Let me say something, Christine. I think sometimes we get so much um in that mindset of like, let me put the Band-Aid on it. Let me do the temporary solution until sometimes people may not be ready for a cure. They may not be ready for the opportunity for somebody to live a regular life. They may be thinking like, hey, look, you know what? I'm just so used to, and I've heard of this, and there's a syndrome. I have to think of, I have to find out what it is. But sometimes people get so used to being the caregiver and the mother until they're not necessarily ready for the child to excel or do well, because then what's my purpose in life?
Yeah.
Right? There is something for that.
That
I
it's
have to.
like I'm not sure how you say it, but it's like Munchausen, something
Okay,
like
so
that.
you've heard of it. You've heard of
Yes,
it.
yes. And a
Okay.
lot of times, people in this category of chronic illnesses, a parent will be diagnosed with that, and it is a way off base. It's just a mom that's going doctor to doctor because they can't find a doctor to help them. And so they're not doctor jumping because they like the attention. So there is overlap of how do you deal with this? How do you separate? Because there are real people that do this because they like the attention that their child brings them. But there are people that get accused of it, and it is not the case at all because of all the weird things. You can't tell somebody of all the things that PANDAS is happening, and people are like, that's not real.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the key things too is that as moms are doing the research and moving forward, they always say there's nothing that can beat a mother's intuition. Like a mother knows their child inside and out. So when I was working with autism, one of the things that I found is that in most of the stories where these kids were able to do major things in life, there was a mother or a mother figure that
Mhm.
worked with the child and nurtured the child. So they could go out in the community, they could do all the programs, etc. But it was that mother's intuition and that mother's love. I mean, you look at the race car driver out there, the guy that played college basketball with autism. Um, oh God, oh God, the guy who created Pokemon, the strongest man in the world with autism, Tom Stolman. They all had a mother. And you look at, and I nobody knows if he is, but Thomas Alva Edison, the simple fact that it was the mother who said, look, I'm not giving up, or my child does not
Yeah.
need to be institutionalized, or blah 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 blah. But even if a mother has an intuition, if you don't have the right clinicians, if you don't have the right support, it goes nowhere. Because for you, your journey, I think you've alluded to, it really started to move forward when you got the right
Yep.
clinicians.
Exactly. And there were times that I doubted, but mostly no. And I looked into her eyes and I said, is this being made up? And she looked at me and I could tell she was being truthful. She said, no, I don't know what's happening.
And you see their hurt and you feel their hurt as a parent. and you want
Very
nothing but
much.
the best. So,
Very,
Christy, like I said, you are phenomenal. You're providing hope, you're providing insight. What you're doing is so beautiful. I thank you for what you're going to do on the show. I thank you for the people that you've helped that maybe have forgotten to say thank you or haven't had a chance to say thank you. And I thank you for the people that you're helping, the people you're going to help, and the people you've already helped. You are a blessing.
thank you, Kellye. I look forward to the 23rd.
Me too, me too. Get ready. So get ready for Dr. Valentina and I, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.